everyone, I'm Noelle, and this is Homey Housewife Habits. I'm so glad you joined me for my first episode, and we are going to get right into it. We are going to talk about meal planning. Oh yeah, meal planning, menu boards, the whole shebang. Why? Because meals are pretty much the core of a lot of family life. So how do you keep yourself organized? It can be tough, and I have actually just got my system in place and I'm excited to see how it runs, but I wanted to share with you what I do. So behind me you can see I have a weekly menu board. This board I made based off of Pinterest, and I will link the original link below. I tweaked it a little bit to fit my needs, and some of the things that were really cool on hers were great for a weekly menu. However, I recently switched to a monthly menu, and so they don't really work. My monthly menu is listed right here. And I got this calendar off of goodcheapeats.com. It was a free printable, and it's just a plain monthly calendar. You can use any monthly calendar you want if you want to do that. I sat down and I planned out everything based on what I had in my house and other things that I wanted to get at the grocery store. I am trying very hard to stick within a $150 food budget per month for 2 adults. This month I did well. We'll see how next month goes. But the importance is planning your meals to fit your budget and not just go overboard. We have previously spent $300, $250, upwards from there every month just on meals, and that wasn't even included eating out. We have since stopped eating out, which has saved a lot more money. So we are really trying to get our meals in order. So on this board it has Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday little clothespins, and each one I just printed out the names of the meals based off of my monthly plan. I don't have to do that, obviously. It's pretty much a repeat. However, if I don't feel like having mac and cheese on Wednesday, I can switch it with another day. And that is a pretty easy thing to do. That's the cool thing about this board versus writing it and changing it on the monthly one. Now, her original idea for this board was to have cards with all the food, all the meals names that you have in your recipe repertoire, and on the back you list the ingredients. That was a great idea, but I didn't want to flip through all the cards to pick my menus. So I sat down and I wrote a recipe index of all. I have breakfast foods, lunch foods, and then my dinners. And with the dinners I split it up into categories. I have my rice dishes, my pasta dishes, my potato dishes, soups, tortilla dishes, crock pot dishes, and then other, with everything from pizza to hot dogs to veggies, whatever. And so I have the name, I have the main ingredients listed, and if it's in some obscure cookbook that it's not on one of my recipe cards, I write the cookbook and the page number to find it on. I haven't counted how many recipes I have, and I'm still trying to build my recipe repertoire. But this is a basic start. These are the dishes that I know, and a few that looked like they were easy enough that I could do. I do work full time, and by the time I come home, I never feel like cooking, so I want the easiest, simplest things with ingredients that I can just throw on the stove, throw it in the oven, and have it ready to go. So my method for the monthly plan was to inventory on this handy dandy printable from Nifty Thrifty Lady, also linked below. She has a freezer inventory and a pantry inventory, and basically you just write down how many of everything that you have in your pantry, your freezer, your fridge. And I keep them right here by, the freezer one is right here, my pantry one is in my pantry. And that lets me know how many of each ingredient I have, so that I can look at this and say, oh, well, I don't have the ingredients for this dish, so I'm not going to make that this month. Maybe I'll make it next month. Or to look at, this is how many ingredients I can afford to buy, so this is how many new dishes I can do every month, you know, that kind of thing. You really have to plan it out for what works for you and what you have going. So I personally decided that I didn't want to have, you know, 5 rice dishes a week or 5 pasta dishes a week. So I split it up. I kind of do a rice, then a potato. I just kind of sift through all the different categories. And that's how I picked my main month. I did pick Friday night as pizza night, and I also marked off different nights that I wouldn't be home and wouldn't be cooking, and said I'm gonna have to cook double the night before because I can't do it that night. I only meal plan dinners. I do not meal plan breakfasts or lunch because I am not home for that, and my husband works nights, and so he is on a completely different schedule. Both of us take our lunch to work. We take leftovers, and then he also eats leftovers when he comes home and when he wakes up, and he basically eats leftovers all the time. So that's huge for us. I will occasionally on the weekends when we're both home plan a lunch as well, but typically it's just one dinner every night, and that is as easy as it gets. So this is my system, and so far it's working good, and it is a lot of work, but the shopping trip that I did the $150 shopping trip, and it took about 3 hours in 3 different stores looking for the best sales, and it was intense, but I only have to go to the store one more time for a couple fresh foods in a couple weeks, and other than that, I'm done, and I don't have to go back to the store for a few weeks. So that is an awesome feeling, and I'm so glad I did that, and I am really excited about this. I found a lot about the monthly meal planning by Steve and Annette Economides, which their website will be linked below. They have some really cool ideas for saving money, and especially they have a large family, so I found their tips to be excellent. I do not, unfortunately, have a lot of freezer space. This is my entire freezer. So their biggest tip was to buy in bulk and freeze. Well, I can only do that with a few things, so unfortunately a lot of the stuff doesn't work out, but I'm trying to make it work, and we'll see how it goes. Let me know what your meal planning system is below in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.